Hi there, friends. It's your old pal Winston here again, and I got flow video number 2 for you. So you opted in for the Find Your Flow 3 Steps to Flow audio program recently, or a free mini course, so I really appreciate that. And today we're going to be talking about a different kind of flow, so it's a little bit different. What we're going to be talking about today is what I call social flow. Social flow is, you probably won't find anything about this online because I kind of made it up. It's basically when things work out for you and they involve other people. So I'll give you some examples. So maybe a coincidence. Coincidences, right? Oh, it's just a coincidence. Is it? Really? I don't know. I don't think so. I think there's a reason for everything. I think there's a reason you're watching this video right now. And in my experience, when you focus on things, where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows, right? You've probably heard something like that. So what's that mean? Well, if I'm noticing coincidences and I just say, that's a coincidence, and I write it off, then for me, I'm right. It's just a coincidence. No big deal. Nothing to be too concerned about or spend too much time thinking about. It was just a coincidence. But if I'm the kind of person that says, no, there's a deeper meaning here, or hey, isn't it magical that this coincidence happened, or I'm just aware of it, and I maybe, I write it in my journal, like, oh, I had this coincidence today. I thought of this person and then I saw them in real life, or they called me that day, or I was thinking about how could I have more fun in my life, and all of a sudden I run into an old friend and they're like, yeah, let's go grab coffee, and it's like, sweet, that sounds fun. What a coincidence. I was just thinking about how great it'd be to have more fun in my life, and here you are. Well, I call that social flow. Something in the bigger level of just myself has connected me into the matrix or into the synchronicities of the world and my own awareness of that synchronicity, and by me consciously drawing attention to it, I make it so. I make it mean something more. So on the one hand, you could say, well, yeah, that's just subjective. That's just you doing it. And I would say, yeah, everything is subjective. It's all relative. It's all relative. Einstein said that, right? The time and space are relative to where in time and space we are. So you being here now is entirely significant. I'm actually recording this from the past, believe it or not, right? This is something I'm speaking to you in the future. I know that you're going to be watching this at some time. I don't necessarily know when, but I know that if I do this work now and I share this idea with you, at some point, the right people are going to find this video, or it's going to find them, however you want to look at it, and then you'll be able to go out into the world and either say, hey, no, that was total garbage, it didn't mean anything, that guy just talks madness or nonsense, or you might be the kind of person that says, yeah, that makes total sense, I get it, I already am acknowledging this in my life at some level, and yeah, I want more of it. So how do we get more of it? Well, what we focus on expands, our thoughts expand. So if we're focusing more and more on coincidences and serendipities and, chance meetings and meeting the right person at the right time at the right place, well, goodness gracious, then this is the best way to do it, right? Or a great way to do it is to become aware of it and acknowledge it, give it a name. Maybe, hey, it's some awesome social flow. I ran into some friends at the beach, or hey, I was thinking of this person, they called me, and maybe there's it's a small world, right? You ever say that? Like, oh, you run into somebody, and this just happened to me on Facebook, okay? Good friends that I had back in high school for many years, bandmates, cool guys, known them forever, grew up with them, and, we kind of grew apart, went our different directions and whatnot, but those guys kept doing what they're doing, and one day, a mutual friend comments on a picture of us together, and he's like, hey, I know both of you guys. It's like, wow, what a small world, what a coincidence. What's that mean? I don't know. I have no idea. I can make up all sorts of things, right? It's subjective. I already said that. So I'm not going to necessarily dig super deep and make up meanings for things. That's not really what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the significance itself of just that happening is pretty cool, and so maybe I'll blog about it. I actually started Find Your Flow as a way to log, Find Your Flow website, findyourflow.com, as a way to start logging my coincidences and the serendipities, and start to be able to say, to track, like, oh, okay, here at this time I was focusing on law of attraction for this thing, or I wanted to have more of this in my life, or I was noticing this or that, and then being able to, have people follow along in real time and see those things come into manifestation. Was I doing it? Not necessarily. Was God or the higher power, or whatever you want, like however you want to do it, I don't really care, and I don't know that it necessarily matters as much as we all like to think it does. I think as long as you believe in something, that's the important thing, okay? And that's kind of the overall underlying principle or assumption that I'm making, is that you believe in something, and what specifically is less important to me than that you acknowledge your own ability to make your own decisions at some level, which I'm getting kind of out there, I know. But basically, I want you to start thinking about how can you track this and make this more of something that you're consciously aware of? What habit can you pick up to help yourself get more into social flow? And so I'll give you a final example as we wrap up this video. So let's think of it, you know, you are the creator of your own experience, right? The glass is half full, half empty. It's the same glass. The way you look at it changes the reality for you. You know, Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. What's that mean? It means whatever you want it to mean, right? You make it up. So make up something cool. Make up a coincidence that's awesome. Make up, you know, the fact that you ran into somebody at the mall, you know, something to celebrate it in some small way, or at least acknowledge. And the more of those you acknowledge, the more it starts to happen. The bigger coincidences, the more people start to line up, the more things line up. Bigger opportunities, bigger serendipities, bigger realizations, aha moments, smaller the world becomes, right? Exactly, a little accent there. And that's a great one to end on. So this one's a little pretty far out there. It's pretty far out there, guys, but I think it's pretty cool. Synchronicities, right? I said something punctuated by a train going by. Did I time that? No. Did that mean anything? For me, it did. For me, it absolutely did, because I also notice when I have certain thoughts, you know, my refrigerator kicks on. Well, it's a machine. It didn't read my thoughts. It's got cycles. It's going to do that 1,000 times a day, right? But at that exact moment, I happened to think of something amazing, and it coincidence, right? With that thought. And that kind of stuff happens a lot. And I'll bet that the more you notice it, the more it starts to happen in your life. And if it's something you like and want more of, then just notice it more, draw attention to it, acknowledge it, thank it, write it down maybe, and you'll start to experience even more of that kind of flow, the social flow, coincidence, serendipity, synchronicity, all that good stuff. So until next time, my friend, be flowing.